your wine. It's time for Rosé All Day and Juleigh's a Mess, where we talk about current events and living in an intersex life. And now, here's Juleigh.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rosé All Day, Juleigh's a Mess, with myself, Juleigh Mayfield, and my lovely co-host, Rebecca Davis, who's joining us from Savannah. As you know, this is Optimistic in Orlando, a subset of the All Day series, and we're now, I think, on like episode 15, which is crazy when you think about it. We have been vacant for the holidays. It was not intended that way, but Rebecca went on vacation to visit family in Cantebury, England. And then I went through a slew of dating mishaps while she was gone. And then the holidays, and we just kept playing redos or not being on at all. And we're sorry, but we're back now. And first off, happy 2024, everybody. That's crazy. It's 2024. So much has happened. Let's get started. I am drinking Belgrove. I'm drinking the rest of the Belgrove Rosé because I did not have a chance to go out. It's been sitting by my desk the last couple of weeks. And I was going to do a dry January with my good friend Manny. That's what we are going to do. Manny lasted about 5 days. I lasted about 2 days. And we partied at a rum bar the other night. And so maybe dry February, maybe. I don't know.
I love that you said with the enormous pour in your glass. It's like the most generous pour of rosé I've ever seen.
We are still looking for a wine sponsor at Rosé All Day, so I can give myself more generous pours once a week. But look.
And I am drinking this very attractive French type label, Rue de Perle. It's
she throws right. What is it called?
Rue de Perle, which means the road of pearls.
It's a very beautiful bottle, the Road of Pearls.
It took me way too long to open. I don't know why. That was a me problem.
It's a very beautiful bottle. Hi, Jennifer Durham. Welcome. This is a live interactive show. And as we promote it around the web, we tell people you can join us on our YouTube channel each week and you can talk to us in real time. And we have a lot of really interesting topics coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we are absolutely 100% involved with having you be involved with us and ask us questions in real time and talk to us. So hi, Jennifer, welcome. And so this is kind of a recap. So tell us about your lovely trip to Cantebury.
It was very adorable. My mother decided we were going to have 2 Christmases this year. And one of them was going to be with Grandma in England. And so we went there. We did it like sort of a full week early and did the whole shebang and made a chicken instead of a turkey. But we did the whole thing and exchanged presents. And it was delightful. It was very chilly. We went to the cathedral for a carol service and did all of the very little British things like that. But it was cold and like gray. And I was like, I don't think I could live here.
And you ended up getting sick at the end of your trip.
I did. I got really, really sick the day before. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it onto the flight. I didn't have COVID. I did test. And I still made it and figured it out. And I was not sick for Christmas and I was not sick for New Year's, but every other day I felt like crap.
But I love it. And you were having so much fun. I remember texting you while you were over there. And I was like, oh, we could totally write like a book series about the girl that goes to Cantebury and gets, what did I call it? A
Cantebury cold for Christmas or something?
A Cantebury cold for Christmas. And you were like, I love it. And I was like, oh, we could make a whole series out of it. Rebecca and Juleigh are about to get rich and it has nothing to do with dating. Yes. So I went on a slew of dates during the holiday. My Rolodex was quite full. And, nothing like some Christmas crap for Christmas.
Cold, if you will. Dating cold.
Definitely had some, I don't want to say hit and misses. I always laugh because dating apps always seem a little more busier, certain ones, at Christmas time and at the holidays. And it's because people are at home and they're stuck with family and they want to get out and they want to go drink a beer and they want to, and then they want to get away from their reality, which brings us over into this next topic of conversation where we were talking about, would you say, does online life mirror real life and vice versa? And
yeah,
I got an itch in my eyelash. Itchy. So let's talk about that some. Actually, while you were over in England, you asked your grandmother you asked her some questions about dating life and what it was like when she met your grandfather, which I think is really cute. So we're going to play that a little bit later too. Things were different then.
They were so unbelievably different. When you hear it, it's like the classic, oh, those people got together, and it's like the really cute little story. And it's so funny because it really is kind of a bygone era. And also it's sort of timeless, but it's a time capsule.
It makes you wonder sometimes. I don't laugh. Like, I was thinking about it. I saw a period piece. Well, I went and saw one of my favorite Christmas classics, Meet Me in St. Louis.
Oh, that's it.
At a gay bar. I took my roommate Manny to go see it. And we went and saw it. And he had never seen it before, which I was like, what? But we're watching it. And I went, how did women back then juggle multiple interests? And then I thought, well, to be honest, they didn't have the internet and they didn't have cell phones and you had to write a letter. Like in Meet Me in St. Louis, the telephone had just happened. Like people just started to get the old school telephones in your house and you had to like put a number in and crank it and call across the country. And so it wasn't often that you weren't getting a call. Like in the movie, one of the sisters gets a call from New York and they're all excited about it. But that didn't happen all the time. So I thought they probably didn't have the level of interest that they have now. And you didn't have pictures, not necessarily. And you didn't have so I often wonder back in the day, like, how were women, even when you see these shows like The Buccaneers or what's that one that's really popular, Bridgerton? Like you think, how are these women finding suitable men? And then you're like, oh, wait, they have to go to a ball. And then they have to kind of be voted on like cattle. And
they just get pawned off.
They don't have options. Do you know what I mean? You think, and you kind of have to go with the first thing that comes into your peripheral that has some status that might be able to give you a life.
Yeah. And he might look like some old badger with weird teeth.
Yeah. But you did it. Because you had
no other option. You had to survive.
But now we have all of these options available to us, but we also are stuck on what you mentioned earlier, which I want you to explain right now because I'm going to put the graphic up. What is hot guy privilege?
Okay. So I was looking through Juleigh's account and I was like, there's actually a lot of nice men out there on the internet. They're just not classically attractive. And also to the point in which, there are people that Juleigh may or may not be interested in within that category. But hot guys are the ones that are ruining it for everyone because they have everyone available to them and they can just order you up like an Uber Eats because they're in short supply. They don't have to be nice anymore. They don't have to go to a ball and impress you. And so it's the hot guys that are ruining it for everyone.
And everybody wants the hot guy.
Everybody wants the hot guys. And it's very easy to get pulled in. You're just like, you look at them and you're like, oh, well, surely you don't have that many issues. You're too pretty and I'll be fine even if you do. And so, of course, they have the pick of the litter all the time. Online dating brings out the worst in everyone. It especially brings out the worst in the category of people that's always been the worst in the first place, which is hot guys. So I have started looking at only men that are nice and interested. And then of that category, the people that I'm attracted to are a huge win. But hot guys, they're out for me at this point. I mean, I do like to throw some good chocolate at Juleigh, but they're just 9 out of 10 times awful people. So much privilege.
We talk about, and I'm sure it is the same for hot girls, and I get a lot, oh my God, you're stunning, you're hot. I actually heard a great compliment this morning and it totally made me feel good from the bottom of my feet all the way to the head, whether I believed it or not. Somebody in my life, I wouldn't call him a romantic interest. I would call him definitely, he's in my roster and he definitely is just fun. Older, but he came over this morning and he was like, I haven't seen you in about a week and I'm going to give you a hug and I just want to talk to you. And of course, that's not what happened. It's, it's always a hug. But he said, he about you. And I said, what? And he goes, in the morning, out of the shower, no teeth, no hair, no wig, no makeup. He's like, you're still stunningly beautiful. And he goes, some people get out of all of that stuff and they're not. And you go, huh, who was I with? And he goes, and then that's when guys are like, oh, that girl's catfishing me. And he goes, I know you don't feel great without your long hair on and your big like Hollywood looks, but he goes, you are stunning. And I just went, thanks. I don't think I believed it at the moment, because when I get up in the morning and I don't have my teeth in and I don't have makeup on and I don't have hair on, I look like my grandmother. Not that that's a bad thing, because she was stunning, but like you just, I don't feel good. And then my good friend Charlie sent me a meme later on in the day and I was like, fuck you. Because the meme was this bulldog and the bulldog had lipstick on and the bulldog was like, let me put my teeth in and put some makeup on and I'll feel like a normal human being. I was like, fuck you. And he hadn't even known that that's what I experienced earlier on in the day. So I was like, fuck you, universe. Like, but, and all the women run to find the men that are hot, but then also have that mentality, and they don't.
I don't know how many hot men you have to go through and get burned by in order to stop getting bamboozled by hot men.
You're talking about me personally?
Anybody. I would love to know if people could throw the number out there, at what point they decided to give up on hot men just because they were hot. I mean, the 10, 5, 2.
I think what's crazy to me is, but I can find somebody really hot. My friends would be like, they're not hot at all.
Well, that's different. That's attractive. Sexy, attractive, good looking. You're attracted to them. That's different than hot guy who looks like they are just kind of in a magazine and just has that exceptional face that just everybody pulls into. And the body and everything and the cockiness.
Because, I mean, we could be honest. Daniel Craig, extremely hot, but some people wouldn't find him hot. Same with Henry Cavill, right?
I don't know. Everybody would say Henry Cavill is hot. Daniel Craig definitely, well, especially as he's aged, is a particular taste. It's one that I have, but yeah. Yeah.
And then Saltburn guy, I mean, you just want to drink his bathwater. But, that is the top. Everybody's watching Saltburn these days. I'm watching it today, and
you do kind of want to drink his bathwater. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, here's what's weird: is my roommate was like, and my roommate's kinky, And my roommate was like, well, that may be a little too far. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I would lick the drain.
I don't know why I'm keeping my face like this as if I would, and as if I know that you would.
I might drink the water. I might taste it.
Okay, this is so embarrassing. I would probably engage with the water. I don't know if I would get to the drain part.
Right. You'd probably, I know you'd get undressed and get in the water.
I would get in the water. That's exactly what.
And you'd roll around. You would be like Terry Hatcher. Not Terry Hatcher. What was her name? You'd be like Terry Garr in Young Frankenstein rolling in the hay. You'd be in the bathwater and you'd be like, rolling in the bathwater.
Okay, but now you have to say what you would do.
I drink it.
Yeah. But not at the drain part. Somewhere else.
I would take a cup. I'd finish my wine and I would scoop some up and I'd sit there for a second and kind of look side to side. And then I'd be like,
that's exactly right.
This is exactly what I do. Here you go. The Juleigh moment. Rebecca and Juleigh are staying at Saltburn and Juleigh scoops up a glass and Rebecca comes in because she's been watching too. This would literally be what happens. What? I'm not doing anything. What? I got to finish this.
Are you going to use that bath water?
No, Rebecca, go ahead, get in it and roll around. Okay. I won't tell him. Then I would go and knock on the guy's door and I'd be like, can you come in and help Rebecca and I finish? But there's a clog in the tub. We want to tell you about our hot guy mentality.
We have no business at Saltburn.
So, and ironically, people on TikTok tell me all the time that I look like the director.
Oh, who's the director?
Emerald. Her name's Emerald something. She used to be on Hollyoaks, which is like a British soap opera, and supposedly.
Oh yeah.
Supposedly, I look like her. And I'm like,
yes, I can totally see it.
Yeah, like if I cut my hair like right here, look.
Yeah. Oh, I'm into this haircut with the.
I kind of would, and I'd like to direct those boys in the bathroom. And like, we need to redo that shot. We didn't get it all on camera, right? Start doing it again. And on to the graveyard. I don't know what happened in the graveyard. I'm kind of like,
guys. Here's the thing: Juleigh has not finished the movie yet, which she's in for some twists and turns. She's just really excited about the bathtub. That's where we're at in the film at this point with Juleigh.
It's also where we're at in Juleigh's life, which is sad. Okay. So on a serious note, Juleigh went on a date with somebody from the Hive in December. It involved a motorcycle ride. I was very excited about it. I made a TikTok about it. And the situation turned, everybody wants to know about the motorcycle date. The ride was thrilling. And then we got to a point in the date where the gentleman stopped. And he asked if I wanted to get off the bike to stretch my legs. And I said no, because I didn't feel safe in the area that we were in, which was like a wildlife refugee. I just didn't want to walk around with the aspects of rattlesnakes and gators and Florida panthers. And so I stayed on the bike, and then he shoved his hands down my pants. And then I put my leg against the exhaust of the motorcycle to kind of brace myself, and I ended up getting a 3rd-degree burn on the inside of my calf. So I'm not going to talk about the rest of the date, but it was not a shining moment in Juleigh's life, and she is very transparent on other platforms about what she goes through, and even in this podcast, what dating is like. And that definitely bothered me, and it's not my fault. I did show the gentleman through text the next day what had happened to my leg, and he ghosted me and then blocked me on the Hive. And then I got reported on the Hive. So, just be careful. Rebecca kind of heard that information tonight for the first time. I've been kind of guarded about it. I had a heart-to-heart with my roommate the other night, and he said I have a tendency to keep letting people that reside in the basement kind of filter into my life, and that was kind of hard to hear, but also maybe not accurate.
I think this is an important conversation because I think most women in their lives have had some form of negative and non-consensual experience and all of that, but I have certainly had one. And it is, sometimes you look back and you're like, yeah, of course it was that guy. But in the moment, you don't know until you know. Okay, because why would you would never have gotten on that bike or gone out with that guy if you knew that was going to happen. So no, it's just a moot point. However, but I think I'm really interested to hear what your roommate has to say. I think we're going to talk to him at some point because he knows you better than I do. And, sees a lot of these, probably sees the people that come home and all of that. But I feel that it's like you only went out with this guy one time. Like, I don't think you get to claim that you attract terrible people until your life is full of like long-term connections with people who are trash. Or it's not flaming right away. Sometimes it just takes a little while, or it takes that one experience to know. And that's the state of being a woman. It's the state of being a person. But that's how I feel about it. But I do look forward to seeing what he has to say because he knows you overall as a person within.
We are going to bring him on in the future. Maybe not next week, but the week after that, we're going to give him 2 glasses of wine, sit him down, and we are going to ask him the hard questions. Might even let Rebecca show him my picks for the week, and I'll just sit off on the side, and he can pick who we connect with and who we don't connect with, since everybody seems to know what I'm missing out on. Okay, it is 7:23 in the show. Let's go. Let's set up your grandmother's clip and play that because it's adorable.
She's adorable.
And
she's 96, guys, for reference, so she's lived a good life.
96. When Rebecca was going over there, we knew we were going to try and do something where we went live from both sides of the pond, and we couldn't figure it out. And then I said, well, will you interview your grandmother? Maybe ask her about current dating trends and past dating trends. But then as we got into the crux of it, I didn't want to destroy their holiday. And that would kind of be like, not what you're going over there for. And then, but she did ask her grandmother about meeting her grandfather and just how things were different back then. And, this is before profile pics and I think one of the points that you pointed out, which was very interesting, was you said she didn't have a profile. Here we pick profile pics and we swipe left and right daily on how people look. And your grandmother explained that a little bit before we play the clip. She didn't have that available to her.
She had seen him. Well, we'll let her explain it, but she'd seen him. But I said, if you saw him on the lineup, would you have picked him out? She said, nope.
Let's play it. I love it. Here we go. Rebecca interviewing her grandmother on how she met her grandfather.
His parents and he went to lunch every day at the same place as I went with a girl from the office.
And then who spoke to who first?
I don't know, because you had to go up to the counter if you wanted anything extra, anything different. And I used to go and get this, that, or the other, and so did he. And so we met at the counter.
I heard that he was too shy to ask you out. And so
the woman in between did. Yes, she did.
Yes, so someone else jumped in and he said, yes, would it be okay? Do you think I could talk to that girl? And then she just started the conversation for you, didn't she?
Well, she asked me if I'd go with him.
Oh, she asked you out?
Yes, to the university. They had an affair on at the university, and he wanted me to go with him. And so she asked me, and I went, and that's how it started.
So what did you think when you first saw him?
I didn't think anything.
Really? At what point did you notice him as someone you might be interested in?
Well, after a few times.
So one thing that I wanted to ask you is today, people meet online, they just see each other's picture, and then they decide to meet up or not, and then they see from there. But that wouldn't have worked with you and Grandpa because you didn't notice him first from what he looked like. Did you have any other boyfriends?
No.
No, it was just him. And did he have another girlfriend at the time?
I don't think so.
And then how long until you got married?
Oh, it was quite a while. 5, 6 years. 6 years.
And then you had 2 weddings, didn't you? Because he was Swiss and you were English, and you wanted to be able to be with both families.
We were married in England and we were married in Switzerland.
Oh, that's
one
lovely.
after the other.
And then how long were you married to him?
Oh, gosh, now, I've no idea. A long time.
Was it 70 years?
I should think so.
Yeah. And do you miss him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. But you're living a good life now, too, aren't you? You go out, you have your carers who take you out.
Yes.
Well,
I've got a couple of boyfriends now.
Yeah. And what do you do with them?
Or just go out in the car.
That's lovely.
Drive around and talk.
I was telling Rebecca early before we went into the show that she sounds a little more British when she's talking to her grandmother. And she was like, I didn't notice. She's like, I'll have to listen. And even this time around, I was like, because your inflections go up. So you'd be like, because you got married. And I'm like, that's not as British as you sounded, but like.
Well, it's so funny because I don't have the accent, but I have the intonation.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a little weird.
So it was kind of fun. I was like, oh, Rebecca's turning British right before our ears. And you liked him. Yes. So I love it. And then like she'd say something, you'd go, that's lovely. The cool thing about that is also you get to you have that forever now.
Yeah, I sent it to my family and they loved it. Yeah.
You have it forever. And that's cool. How many of us wish that we had that? You know, those kind of. I came across a TikTok recently where you can hear my mom in the background, and we were laughing about it. It was from Thanksgiving of last year, but she's like super punchy and hungry and like was really like witty and sarcastic and laughing. And I told her recently, I said, I'll always have that. You know, I always had that. So if I need to hear you laugh or be like off the cuff, I have that video to listen to. And it's just kind of nice.
We actually don't think about that enough, but a lot of times when you lose someone, you have lots of pictures of them, but very few audio.
Yeah, it kind of makes you want to run out to Build-A-Bear and get everybody you know to like record their voice, and then you shove it in a stuffed animal, and you're like, this is my mom, you know, and you'll be like 90, and you're like, she's been dead for 90 years, but I can still hear her. If anybody runs with that, Rebecca and I came up with it first.
We need our 2%.
Got our Patreon going. So it also reminded me of a situation that happened over Christmas with a guy. I will call him Honeypot. A lot of you have heard us talk before about the beekeeper that wanted to get a farm and raise honeybees. And so we call him Honeypot on this show. I thought that things were going to go really well with us. I thought I was really open to a future with this person. And just a few days ago, probably like 5 days ago now, he sent me a message saying that he had met somebody in real time, and he wanted to give her a shot and wanted to go out with her, and he was going to go out with her the next night. I mean, I talked to him for 3 months, and it was, these are my dreams for the future. This is how I like to treat a woman. This is how I'll treat you. He sent me $35 for Christmas to buy something for myself. Like, I literally thought we were going to go out and be a power couple. And I hate to say it like this, but Rebecca can vouch, not what I normally go for. I took a chance when I started to talk to him because he's not what I typically go for. And I was trying to give the nice guy a chance and not fall into that whole hot guy privilege thing that we talked about earlier in this episode. And so even though I know that people meet other people, even though I know that 100%, I know people meet other people and that other things happen, right? Sliding Doors is a great movie with Gwyneth Paltrow that kind of mirrors that assessment. I think what hurt is he said, I want to see where things go with her. I feel horrible that I'm even entertaining going out with her, but I would love to keep you as my friend. And if things don't work out with her and you, Julie, can be my backup.
I can see how that was not fun, that you didn't like that part.
And so, I shared it with Rebecca and I said, she even said, well, you can't blame him for meeting somebody. Like, we meet people all the time in our day-to-day, and you can't, and I said, no, but it's the way, why didn't he say to that girl, I'm already talking to Julie. If Julie and I don't work out, maybe you can be my backup. And I've shared this story a lot with a lot of people in the interim, and a lot of women have all come back and said, this is what's wrong with guys. They totally say whatever they need to say to get you interested in them, and then they pull this kind of shit. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it.
My friend, like just yesterday, another friend told me she had basically the same experience, and this guy was like, oh, and then, like, they were trying to make plans that night. He was like, are you free tonight? And she was like, after trying to meet up for a while. And then she was like, yeah, I am. And then he was like, okay, well, maybe sometime this week we can get dinner or whatever. And it's just this like endless, not making it across the finish line, meeting up. And I think the thing is that it's a both and situation to me, where it's that this man was talking to you forever and didn't make the effort and figure out how to meet up. That's period, end of story. Very frustrating. 2, I think it speaks to, there isn't a rule book or an etiquette book out there right now. I've got like a pen in my hand. About how to handle the transition between an online relationship and real life. And I think for a lot of people, real life in-person experiences trump online experiences. It's almost like you meet someone and then you're like, oh yeah, that person I've been chatting with is out in the ether and they're just a figment of my imagination. It's very easy to suddenly like put that back up into like, oh, that's the Sims, that's my Sims girlfriend. So I think that's the thing that for me, I have not enjoyed talking to someone for a very long time without meeting them. Also because I have to panic about like, what if I don't like them? And I've been spending so much time getting invested. So I think it's just a lot of people, some people manage that more elegantly than others. And it's kind of like the hot guy privilege thing too, where there's no checks and balances for online stuff. And that's what happens here is then it's like, well, this kind of really sucked because there's no responsibilities there.
Yeah. And look, I wish him the best. I blew up on him a little bit. As women would. And he wrote me the other day and he said, I am sorry I hurt you. I absolutely expected that reaction from you. And I was like, okay. And he said, I expected it because he goes, it is. He took ownership. And I said, I appreciate that. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope that things work out and, she's the love of your life and, sucks that she, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. So, I wish he had dealt with it differently, but he didn't.
Well, what I want to know is what do you wish he had done? Let's say that the end result is that he is going to end up with her anyway.
Okay.
What do you wish had happened?
What do I wish would have happened?
Yeah, like what do you wish he would have said or done if we were going to end up with the same result? Which we've agreed that, like, on paper, it's okay. That's why we date. That's why you talk about dating a lot of people all the time. It's okay.
I think if he had said everything but let me keep you in my back pocket.
Yeah.
So that you can be my second option.
Yes.
I literally turned to my roommate at that point and I think I even asked him, I said, is she cis? Is she a cis woman? And he didn't answer. And I said, are you going to tell her that you enjoy, that you're pan and that you enjoy men and trans women? Are you going to share that information? Because at first I was like, if you don't share that information with her and then she finds out 3, 5, 4, but that's not my problem, to be honest. I shouldn't be worried about that because he didn't pick me at the end of the day. I know what he's attracted to and I know what he likes, but he didn't pick me. So it's not really my problem to make sure she knows that. What would that do? Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm not some caped crusader that's going to fly in and be like, by the way, he likes to get pegged. And that's not my MO. And that's not my job to tell her. I think that I would have liked if he had said, I'm going to see where this goes. I think you're a great person. I wish you the best. But saying to me, I would like to keep you as a friend so you can be my backup plan. That hurt. And it also made me feel like I'm not worthy as an intersex woman to be anybody's first plan.
So, and this is one thing that I often point out to you, and it's like your experience as an intersex person is absolutely real and absolutely the reason that a lot of things happen to you. And also, most of the experiences that I see of you are things that happen to women. And so it's probably a both and situation, but it's like, I can't think of a single woman I know who hasn't been put as someone's number 2 at some point in time and then had to be like, fuck you or whatever. And so it's just, it's a shitty feeling when someone reminds you, like verbally tells you you're on the roster, but you're not number 1. It's like, well, now I feel objectified. Like I'm not a person to you anymore. I'm like an option. And I don't think that's actually, because we all have a roster. I don't think that's actually necessarily the case, but to say that it's not fun to hear.
Well, I apologize to him. I wish him the best of luck. Lesson learned. I learned a lot of lessons in 2023. Let's move into 2024. We've got about 20 minutes left on the clock. Let's see who your matches are this week.
Okay, great. So we have some interesting choices. So there's always going to be caveats. Because, I mean, I go back to this every time, guys. It is very difficult to sort through, like, the latest men in the hive and try to find someone that you love and care about, who you want to be treated well. And then here's the other thing that's difficult is I'm like, okay, this guy seems nice and great. Don't think Julie's going to be attracted to him. And not to the point where she needs to like round up and be open, but like, I don't think they're a match. And then there's other ones where I'm like, they're attractive, they whatever, but they're like really into interests I know you don't have. And like, it would just be too much of a stretch. And I'm like, I don't know that your personalities would match. Like, it's a challenge, folks. So
it's a challenge. Now, here's something that Rebecca learned about while she was gone. You know, it's the holidays. I definitely went into the Hive and swiped around and was like, you know, and I did meet a guy on the Hive. I'm supposed to meet him tomorrow night for the first time. We're going to call him for the purpose of this show. I probably won't talk about him a lot on this show until I know what goes on tomorrow night. But for the purpose of the show, we're going to call him Psycho Bunny. That is not a bad thing. He's just really into the Psycho Bunny clothing line. So we're going to call him Psycho Bunny. And he's got beautiful eyes. And so just know that he is in the Hive, but she is also looking for other matches. Psycho Bunny, I wouldn't be mad if something progressed with Psycho Bunny. Okay.
So
she sent me 2 gutter swipes earlier. Remember, if we need to readdress in the next couple of weeks what gutter swiping is, we will. Already reached out to those 2 gutter swipes. We will see if they respond.
Okay, so this guy is some pictures are cuter than others, but he's got like a cute, warm, friendly vibe. I think he would entertain him. So supervisor FDOT, went to UCF, looking for someone, okay, he's 41, looking for someone who wants to spend quality time with each other during doing the things we enjoy. Currently living minimalist, enjoying what life brings. That potentially could mean that he has no money, or finding out. Open to being a gym or yoga partner, open to, not a necessity. Working on starting my business soon. Aquarius, drinks socially, never smokes, wants a relationship, doesn't want kids, is agnostic and apolitical, loves photography, coffee, road trips, being open-minded and mindfulness. There's a picture of him at Disney with like Walt Disney in the background, which if you look at the Walt Disney statue, it's an awkward statue. Anyone check it out later. And then he's got like a baseball cap and not the best sunglasses on. That's fine. Then we see his real face, probably also at Disney or something like that. Real cute. He's got a beard. What's your dream vacation destination is one of his questions. Then he says, my zombie apocalypse plan is to stock up on ammo and don't forget to double tap. I didn't notice the ammo thing before. I just want everyone to know.
Was that a game thing? Maybe that's a game thing. Like,
oh, yeah. Okay. Stand behind me. I will protect you. 3 exclamation points. Like that. He's in front of a car. Then he's hanging out in a tree. Favorite.
Let's just be clear. I'm excited. I mean, you can send me a picture. Let's be clear. Julie's zombie apocalyptic plan is to dress like a zombie, walk like a zombie, take my teeth out. Like, I'm just going to blend in with the zombies. I don't know if I need somebody to protect me.
Well, I think you don't need someone to protect you, and I think you love the idea of it, though. So.
I do love the idea of it.
Okay. This is what he looks like. He's cute.
I'm always like, I get ready. Incoming.
You're so nervous.
Oh, he was kind of cute. Kind of. He's kind of cute. More pictures? Now, sometimes when they take a lot of pictures at Disney, it can go either way. You can either be like, they're really into Disney, which is great because, you know, that's my alma mater, or they work at Disney and that's not so great because then they won't be able to afford me.
Oh. Well, he works at Florida. What is FDOT? Florida Department of Transportation. So maybe he gives parking tickets. So maybe he makes a lot of money.
He's true. He's cute.
I think he's cute. Let's do him.
Let's do it.
Okay. You matched. Surprise. Okay. So
Oh my God, you
guys
matched.
don't realize how ironic that was. These are only people that have already swiped right on Julie. Okay. So next person. Okay. This guy, I know exactly what you're going to say. You're going to say, Rebecca, he's for you. Why are you trying to shovel off someone that you would go out with? However, he's 37. He's an attorney at like a private firm. I'm a chill creative guy. I'm a chill creative guy that lives in the moment and tries to find positivity in things, even through adversity. Love theater, art, film, and learning new things. Travel and adventure enthusiast. He's 5'10", active Aries, sober, spiritual liberal. He's interested in confidence. He likes theater, creativity, positivity, and intelligence. There's what looks like oh no, it's not an actor's headshot.
Mask.
No offense to actors, because we're both actors. But it looks like a headshot, but I'm realizing now it's because he's an attorney. It's probably on his LinkedIn.
Okay.
Favorite quality in a person, good communication. Without that, there is nothing. Then like a slightly different, like maybe a giveaway photo, but it's not bad. And he's got like a yellow striped polo thing. It's interesting. Then a very cute, casual, hands in pockets, leaning against the railing.
Let's see him.
Okay, wait. I just have to say two more things. I won't explain the rest of the pictures, but he says, I'm a real nerd about researching offbeat locations and making my own walking tour when traveling, with the nerdy face emoji. I'm hoping you are open-minded, enjoy learning new things, and step out of the comfort zone a little. Okay.
I do, but I'm not really a walker with my hip problems.
Well, I'm sure he can take care of
Like,
that.
drive? Can we get now? You can give me a tour and we can drive.
I'm sure he can take care of that.
I'm from the land of Savannah. Don't take me on any crazy walking tours.
Given that he is an attorney. Okay, let's start
He's an
with
attorney for though. What if he's like
oh my God, what if he was like a criminal attorney for like white collar crime?
I'd be into that because I could always date somebody that he represents if it doesn't work out. But you look, no hate, no shade. I'm about to look at the picture, but Rebecca Sutton, whatever her name is on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she said today on an episode that she gets in spousal support since she divorced her husband, who she married in 2000. She gets $300,000 a month in spousal support. I'm like, why the fuck is Juleigh 48 and still single?
Okay, what job does this person have?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. $300,000 in spousal support. You know what I could do with $300,000 a month?
I thought that
I'd be happy with $300,000 a year in spousal support.
Wait, I thought that was a sexy income, but apparently not. Okay, so let's see. You're gonna say he looks like my type.
He does look like your type. He kind of looks. Okay. He looks better when he smiles. I don't like his serious face. He looks kind of jaded, serious.
Oh yeah, here, let me give you a smile that I wasn't sure how you would feel about. It's his giveaway photo now. We're up in the ante, guys, because I already got a little bit of buy-in. I actually think it looks really cute on here. But he wouldn't think that compared to his posy blue steel.
I don't know, Rebecca.
Oh, God damn it. I knew I shouldn't show you that photo.
No, that's enough.
Okay. It was a wild card.
He
Okay.
looks a little boyish, to be honest, and he just looks like a player to me.
Essentially, one of the
You've taught me too well.
I have. This is the problem. These are trick questions, you see. This was a pop quiz. This is a trap. It's entrapment, you guys. Okay. So
He could be really sweet and really nice. He just looks.
no, you're right. He does look, and if he is, he's very good at it because he seems very genuine on his profile. And he's like, he's not, he has some hot guy privilege, but like not enough. But there's those people that are like teetering on the edge where you're like, you shouldn't really be pulling as many women as somehow you are. And
But
you're
we
also
also-
an asshole about it.
We also are reading. I mean, you've taught me how to read between the lines, and I've seen a lot of profiles in the last couple of months. And going on an unbeaten, I hope you're open to an unbeaten. What did you say? I hope you're open to going off the beaten path and going on excursions. Could translate into I'm going to sex traffic you.
Okay.
Just go with it. Let's see the next one.
It's possible. This man is safer.
Can you imagine? Because people on profiles would be like, I like long drives in my white panel van with candy. And then you're like, puppy dog hugs and free love. And you're like,
Sharing is caring. Okay. So this man is in one of your demographics that you particularly like, which we don't really pay that much attention to, but Julie does have a few. He's 37. He's an industrial designer. Continue growing personally and professionally to continue achieving my goals and have a great home. Okay. I don't love his writing skills. Capricorn, socially drinks, wants a relationship, wants kids someday. Man, you're so attached to that. It's often just that they don't want you to.
I love when they're like 56 and they say they want
It's so true. Those are usually like the older guys that had hot man privilege. And
I'm like, what?
I'm like, you live in a fantasy land. Anyway, she says, we're not going to explore my own personal life.
I'm like, you go, Tony Randall.
Okay, so this man loves design, art, gym, museums and galleries, staycations. He knows English and Spanish. Gave it away. What's your dream vacation? Perfect first date, a good place, and a good talk. Quickest way to my heart is coffee. What makes a relationship great is trust, respect, and good communication. Okay, so there are some photos that make him look absolutely adorable and cuddly. There are some photos where, like, is he going to gutter us? I don't know. So it's a wild card. We're going to send you his first photo.
Okay.
And see if you get pulled in. Because there's actually a way hotter photo that's not his leading photo. This one has more personality.
Oh, he's cute.
Right? Okay, now I'm going to tease you even further. Because he's absolutely beautiful in this photo. And it's a black and white. And I know this, I love a good black and white. I have a very vain black and white photo of myself out there. I love them. I don't know why. It's not my best quality.
He has pretty eyes.
Do you think he's an asshole?
Just
Here's
like-
another photo. He looks like he could, no offense to you, sir, but he does look like he could get his eyebrows tweezed on this one. But he does have them tweezed on the other one, so that's fine. But here's another photo showing personality. He's sitting on a couch, just looking forward. He's got earrings.
I think he's cute.
Okay, great. I love him.
Yeah.
Great. We're swiping right. Okay. So I knew that was going to be a win.
Young.
He is young, but you like young.
I do like young, but lately I feel like young. Look,
You might
here's
be
my
too smart for that now.
I'm not changing that marker. I do like young. However, I think my young gauge is moving up a little bit. So
I like that.
normally
100% would be into the 33 to 40 age range. However, I've learned in 2023 that they are still not there yet. People in their 33 to 37, some can absolutely surprise you, and they have their own house and they're gunning for a career and they're ready to settle down. But the Rook, which I'm going to ask you about in a second before we get off because we have a lot going on in the show, but the Rook was 37. And Psycho Bunny tomorrow, I think, is in his late 30s. But then Honey Pot was 33. So I'm just kind of like, meh. And then guys that I seem to really be vibing lately with, like the French American that I think I've shared with you before about, I met him at Bingo a couple of weeks ago. He's closer to my age. He's 46. And, and then the guy from this morning is in his 50s. So I just feel like I'm starting to kind of, as I age, I turned 49 in June and I don't look it. People would be like, you don't look 49. And I'm like, no, but I'm starting to feel very 49-ish because the kind of people I interact with, I'm just tired of the games.
Yeah.
Tired of the games. So
yeah, I love 41 plus for you. I like to feed you what you crave, so we definitely keep that.
41 is still younger. 39 is still younger. It's just I'm ready for and I really do need somebody that's established and continues to hang out in the balcony as opposed to being not so established and fluctuates between basement and balcony.
You don't need someone who's aspiring.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. No, you need you need an adult man. And I love a good 40, 50 something.
Look, but 40 is still young. So I'm good with the 40 and up. Mm-hmm. I'm good with the, okay, let's rephrase it. I like young, but I like young because they have bodies like the guy in Saltburn. I like young for the same reason that every other cougar likes young. They're young and their skin is supple and it's tight and they go to the gym, but
they're playthings though.
But yeah.
I like for you.
Very rare. It's very rare that you will meet somebody like Cher that's dating a 28-year-old that has all his shit together.
That's the thing is there are men, I can't remember. Oh, it might be Kermit or someone else that you talked about at some point that sounded like they just had an old soul vibe in a young man's energy and body and could kind of provide for you in a sense. And I'm not seeking someone to provide for me. You don't need someone to provide for you. However, I think that's something you're suited to. And at least providing for you, emotionally, mentally, being able to keep up with you and your maturity level. Yeah. So I'm okay with that in a younger man, especially if they add a little bit of excitement. The thing that I thought about with the sort of 60 plus, which is obviously something I think about a lot, is just you obviously have some health issues. You have some things that you have concerns about. So having someone else that's got a higher likelihood of that coming sooner is a bit of a challenge to keep in mind as well. It's just a life fact. But love is love. That's that. That's all I have to say.
That's that. Hey, we're gonna take these and reach out to the ones that I think we picked 2. So we're gonna reach out to them this week. We'll see what the gutters have to say. I, on the 31st, kind of a watershed moment for me, was invited to take part in Dr. Wendy Walsh's radio show. Dr. Wendy Walsh is a relationship and she's not a psychologist. Well, she is a doctor. She teaches gender studies out at a university in California, and she invited me to be on her show on the 31st. And so I appeared on her show, the Dr. Wendy Show. It aired on the 31st. It's on iHeartRadio, 6:40 a.m. She actually has a show going live tonight at 7:15 p.m. Eastern or Pacific time. It'd be 10:15 our time on the East Coast. and she's on every week, and she's asked to do a TikTok with me. She wants to have me come back out and speak to her students. She wants me to come out and do another relationship show for her. She was like, do you date? Can I interview you for a relationship show? I said yes on all of that. You can actually go hear our quick segment from the 31st. I'm in the first hour of her show. It's a 2-hour show. And it is on iHeart Demand or iHeart Radio on Demand, 6:40 a.m., the Dr. Wendy Walsh Show. So it was really cool to do it. Rebecca listened to it the next day. What'd you think?
I really liked it. It's so interesting because when somebody interviews someone you know, and you get like this whole new side of that person or things that like I haven't interviewed you to ask you, you know what I mean? So I really loved hearing even some facts that I didn't even know. And I also thought that it was really interesting that she would really caught on to your personality and your positivity. And that is something that I've often said, like you don't have to be perfect. You don't always have to be positive and all of that. But it is so true about you. I mean, you just are such a force of nature. And I think that is one of the things that makes your message heard and makes you an impactful person and all of that. And it was just interesting that was something that she really also was attracted to. But
it was a lot of fun to listen to. I actually told my mom, I was like, when the show came out, because you record it in segments. We've done that before too. But when the show came out, her intro to me, I was kind of just floored a little bit because it's not oftentimes that people will elevate you and celebrate you, which is kind of my motto for 2024. I want everybody in my life. If you're not celebrating me and elevating me, I don't necessarily want you in my circle. And I feel the same for other people. I want to always celebrate and elevate everybody else. I think that's important. And so, I feel like we need a t-shirt that says elevate and celebrate me, or, elevate and celebrate. I love the way that it sounds, but it's very true. You need people in your life that are going to elevate you in everything that you do, and they're going to celebrate you in everything that you do. Not to say that they can't be mad at you, not to say that you can't have a disagreement with somebody about something going on in your life, but true friendships and true relationships should 100% elevate you and celebrate you.
And it's like I know so many experiences that you've had, even just in the short time we've known each other, where people have not elevated and celebrated you. And to hear someone treat you with the respect and authority and veneration and joy of you that you deserve was
crazy.
Really nice.
It was nice.
It was a fucking fresh air. Like, thank you, Wendy, for seeing what we see, what is real, and bringing it.
And I think that means more. I think that means more when it comes and you haven't lobbied for it, and you haven't when you haven't asked for it, and when you're not, and when it just comes, it's kind of like. There's an award season here in Orlando called the Wave Awards, and it's done by Watermark Media, and they are kind of the local LGBTQIA plus community newspaper. And I've been featured in them before, and they've done stories on me before and stuff like that. And it's a great kind of asset to have in the community. But they do something called the Wave Awards every year, and you always know when the Wave Awards are coming, because you'll literally see drag queens and drag kings and people in the community go, the Wave Award nomination forms are out. How great would it be if I got nominated for XXY, blah, blah, blah category? And I've always kind of gone like, I'm not really into that self-promotion. If you nominate me and I get nominated, that would mean so much more to me because I'm not self-promoting for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, I say to my drag queen friends, I'm like, how does it mean anything if you make it past the nomination round into the voting round, but you've been asking everybody on your Facebook and social media to put you in for a nomination?
Right.
It should mean more when you get that nomination and you go, oh, people know who I am and they recognize me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think what's nice is that you sometimes are like, you know, life is hard, things are hard, or people even listening, blah, blah, blah. And having someone, you know, I feel like Wendy kind of came out of the blue of just a reminder almost from the universe, people are listening. Important people are listening, and they're passing it along to other people who are listening. And like your work, your energy, which our energy is our work in many ways as well, like keeping that positive and putting that out there and just following what you need to do. Like that, it has a ripple effect, and we rarely get to see the effect it has. And it was really amazing that you got to have that. And it was just really encouraging to me as well.
It was very encouraging. Jennifer Dunham has joined back in. She said she agrees. You left, Jennifer, before I got to share your comment earlier when we were talking about videos and Rebecca's grandmother. And you said you have a video of your dad a week or so before he passed.
Oh, that's
so I wanted to share that in the live. You had already left the live for a minute to take a break because we're live. And but I wanted to make sure I shared that with you. So I have now had my generous pour. Look how much is left. None. Like I've been drinking. And then I ate a whole, I don't normally eat nuts. Well,
I eat a lot of nuts.
Don't normally eat nuts like Planters peanuts and pecans and macadamia nuts, but I had a whole bowl of salty nuts while we discussed the recap. And there is a joke in there, Rebecca. There's a joke in there that
I'm not going to make it. We all know it's too obvious. I'm not going to do it.
But
also, I'm thinking about how far I can get through a thing of Planters nuts and just like hate myself. I'm like, I could have just eaten 3 pints of ice cream for this calorie.
No, because they're not salty. They're good for you. I feel like I need more roughage in my diet. I don't have enough. You know, today for lunch, I made mushroom, spinach, and garlic like sauce and then put a steak in it, but I didn't even eat the steak. I made it for dinner, didn't eat the steak, but I spooned all the sauce on 2 pieces of sourdough bread, and that's what I had for lunch. So I feel like I'm going through this healthy, like I'm gonna eat healthy, which is not doing anything for the back end because I'm gonna have to super prepare before Psycho Bunny comes over tomorrow night.
Are you gonna be the one that has to prepare?
Am I gonna be what?
Are you going to be the one that has to prepare?
No, Psycho Bunny has to prepare. He likes it wet and messy. So sorry I had a phone call. You're good. Rebecca's like, oh my God. You.
I'm like, okay, it's time to sign off.
Well,
we never said this was a kid's show, you know?
With that, I'm not sure what our show is going to be about next week because we didn't really discuss it this week. We are going to try and have Manny, my roommate, come in the next couple of weeks and discuss with him kind of how well he knows me and what his take on the drunk rum night was when I slapped him. He's going to be all right. Look,
and I want an opportunity to counter argument with him if there's something that comes up that I have another perspective.
Absolutely, you can. I mean, I shared with him what you had said about honeypot, and he was like, about how you said we attract everybody.
Yeah.
And he was like, meh. And I was like, y'all can have that discussion later. No. He is taking me to the wound clinic on Tuesday. I am proud of him and Nate because they're closing on their condo this weekend. So they're going to Lauderdale. That'll give me some extra time with Psycho Bunny and the French American and anything else that comes up. Okay, so we will discuss what our show is going to be about. We will start doing promos for the week or so. I also have to check into, I think we're not streaming on Apple because I went and looked at our Apple podcast the other day and it seems like it cut off last year sometime. So I got to figure out if people are even listening to us outside of YouTube. But, go check out the Wendy Walsh Show on KFI iHeartRadio 640 AM. Tell her that you love my show as well and that you love her show. And we will see you next week.
For more content, follow justjuleigh.com. That's just Juleigh, JULEIGH.com. Thank you to our guests, and thank you for joining us this evening. Join us next week as Juleigh tries a different rosé.